Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Election Law at Ohio State's Historical Trivia Program. Today's question is this: who was the first natural-born president of the United States of America as defined by Article 2 of the Constitution? The answer is Martin Van Buren. Martin Van Buren was born in 1782 in Kinderhook, New York, and has the distinction of being the first president ever born in the state of New York. The 8th president of the United States, Van Buren was elected in 1836. He was also the first president to satisfy the Constitution's natural-born citizen requirement. Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution provides that, and I quote, "No person, except a natural-born citizen, or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution, shall be eligible to the office of president. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States." End quote. Article 2 was drafted by the delegates to the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Which was ratified in 1788 and implemented in 1789. It thus created two avenues for presidential eligibility: a natural-born citizen of the United States or a citizen of the United States at the time of the Constitution's adoption. The second option, ironically enough, was realistically the only path to the presidency for decades. Our first president, George Washington, is a case in point. Washington took office in March 1789. At the time that he took office, the only natural-born citizens of the United States were only 13 years old or younger. The reason is because we had only declared our independence from Britain 13 years before with the Declaration of Independence in July 1776. In addition to a citizenship requirement, Article 2 establishes an age requirement of 35 for the presidency. Thus, no natural-born citizen of the United States, in other words, people who were born in the United States after the Declaration of Independence, no natural-born citizen was even eligible to serve as president until 1812, when they would have turned 35 up to 36. And even then, they would be pretty young to be a serious candidate for president at a time when most presidents were in their 50s or 60s. Consequently, our earliest presidents all took advantage of Article 2's second option for eligibility, citizenship at the time of the Constitution's adoption. Van Buren's 7 predecessors, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, John Quincy Adams, and Andrew Jackson, were all born before 1776 in the American colonies, and thus were British subjects at the time of their birth. When they were born, there was no United States yet to be naturally born in. None of them, therefore, met the constitutional definition of natural-born citizens of the United States. They were natural-born subjects of the British Empire. But all of them were citizens at the time of the Constitution's adoption, and they all met the age and residency requirements. One of the first natural-born citizens of the United States to have a real shot at winning the presidency was Henry Clay, a leading candidate of the Whig Party from Kentucky. He was born in 1777 in Virginia, a year after the Declaration of Independence, so he was a natural-born citizen of the United States, and he was a serious candidate for president in 1824, 1832, and finally in 1844. But Henry Clay lost every time he ran for president. Therefore, it was Martin Van Buren who was the first natural-born citizen of the United States to win the presidency when he won the 1836 presidential election as the Democratic nominee. Perhaps ironically, Van Buren lost his re-election campaign in 1840 to William Henry Harrison, who was born in colonial Virginia in 1773 and thus was not a natural-born citizen of the United States. Harrison took advantage of the second option in Article 2, just like Van Buren's 7 predecessors did. But since James Polk's election in 1844, every president has been a natural-born citizen of the United States. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and be on the lookout for our next trivia question.